G'day and welcome to the 55th episode of the Destiny Down Under podcast. This week we're joined by absolute champion Blessious. We talk about everything in the Curse of Osiris reveal stream. We talk about the great EXP controversy of 2017 and a whole lot more. So stick around. Cheers. G'day and welcome to the 55th episode of the Destiny Down Under podcast. I am Log Power Slave, and as always I am joined by my brothers in arms, the fearless Mylan Games.
I didn't get an insult that time.
No, dude. I felt bad because we all played together last night and had a few drinks, and it turned into a bit of a let's stitch up Mylan.
We just yelled at each other for 2 hours. It was great.
He's like the little brother. He's like the little brother of the group. You know, it's the day after, and I'm no longer half pissed, and I feel a bit bad about it. And also here, as per usual, Real Time Sloth. How you going, brother?
Yeah, all right. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm doing the podcast, so good. But more importantly than either of these Muppets is our guest this week, none other than Bless. How are you, man? It's been a while.
Hi, mates. How's it going? Doing good. Doing pretty good.
Is that Foster's that you're drinking that's done that to you, boys?
Yeah, I'm drinking some Foster's American for Australian beer, you know?
Oh, dude,
Thank you guys for having me.
Nah, anytime, man, anytime. So, dude, it's been busy time since we last spoke. I mean, obviously Destiny 2's come out and all of that sort of shit, but the man himself, Bless, you got yourself hitched?
Yeah, we got married on the 4th, November the 4th, and we had a sweet Star Wars wedding. Darth Vader was there.
I saw some of the photos you shared. That was unreal. The groomsmen, like the lineup of the lightsaber charge. The groomsmen on one side, the bridesmaids on the other. Dude, unreal.
Yeah.
I haven't seen this. Where can we see? Is this on your Twitter?
Yeah, that picture's on the Twitter, and like there's a wedding video of like you can see like Darth Vader like force choking out someone and battling a Mace Windu mid ceremony.
So, is your wife a nerd like you, or was that a lot of persuasion to like do that?
A lot of it was her idea. The Mace Windu part was her idea, so it wasn't all me.
That's awesome.
There you go.
You're gonna have. You're gonna have a long, happy marriage with a wedding like that.
That's unreal. Dude, congratulations.
If I did a Star Wars wedding, I would have been shot out of a cannon.
My wedding just had like an inordinate amount of Bon Jovi. Like it was just ridiculous. Rach walked down the aisle to Bon Jovi after we played all this like serious music, and everyone thought it was going to be all like that, and then just straight into it. But you know, I think that's the most important part of a wedding, because you'll look back on that for forever now and be able to like show your kids down the line or whatever, and be like, you know what, your mum and dad are nuts, and it's awesome.
It's great. It's totally great.
Oh,
now, I mean, with Destiny 2 being out and all that sort of good stuff, Bless, what have you been up to, man? What have you been up to?
September was the month of grindage for D2, and it was fun. And then the PC came out, and then I was like, oh, the same old grind, and that's where I've been.
Hey, don't you think part of me really wishes I didn't play on console, because it's so refreshing on PC, but I've sort of seen it all before, so I sort of wish PC came out at the same time, because I think I would have really loved to experience it fresh on PC, because it just has a different feel.
I think it's definitely Sony being like, hey, no.
Do you reckon?
I don't know. Like, I don't know why they wouldn't do that.
Yeah, it does. It doesn't really pass the smell test when you consider that like they've been developing this game for 2.5, nearly 3 years, right? And then we need to delay the PC by 2 months. Why? Because we just don't have time. Seriously,
there is a reason for that, and I think we've covered it a few times. But Vicarious Visions, they not only are just looking after the PC release, is that if there's a PC problem, like a main PC problem, that is their boat, that is their bag. They need to figure that. I have no help from Activision or Bungie or Blizzard in that respect. That like they need to work on that in-house to get that issue sorted. It's not a Bungie like let's just split the console port between the two and just go from there and fix it that way. So you just got to remember that. So, but
so
yeah, that's
what else is on the agenda, Bless? Because some people may have seen you on the podcast before, some people may have not. So maybe give us a brief of your YouTube and Twitch.
Oh, sure. So mainly do YouTube. I do YouTube videos every day, and most of it's Destiny related, but there is some variety to it. I'm trying to, kick up the variety because there's a spice of life, and well, Destiny is kind of Destiny.
Yeah.
And then I stream over on twitch.tv/Blessious, which it's like the same bag, a little bit more variety on that aspect. But yeah, I mean, I enjoy Destiny, but man, if they just threw in some quality of life improvements, I'd be a happy boy. Those QOLs, baby. Give me
We were talking about it before we went live because we always do this. We always sort of get into this. Everyone's just excited to talk. We all talk and we cover things before we actually start the cast. But we were sort of saying that the core of the game itself, like, and the engine and the way things look and all of that, it's so fucking good. But there's kind of those little niggles and like it's not quite there. And I think, like, looking back at Destiny 1, and it's an easy comparison to make. It's sort of think about how much Destiny itself improved over its 3-year lifespan. It does give you hope, but at the same time, it kind of sucks to be in that position right now where it's not quite where you want it to be, and it is disheartening.
Yeah. I think I said this on my stream just before. I think when D1 came out, this genre was very unexplored, hadn't really been done yet, and I think people were extremely lenient because we could see that Bungie was working it out as they were going, right? And they were doing a pretty good job at like listening and updating and changing, and so I think everyone had a very decent amount of acceptability that things weren't going to be perfect. But I think as years go on, I think the expectation for D2 was extremely high.
Oh yeah,
and maybe too high, but I think it still should have been up there because it's sort of like, yeah, all right, we've given you the support for 3 years. You've done so many good things. You've worked out a lot of things. You've worked out private matches. You've worked out how to entice, the carrot and the reward and the loot and the raiding, and you've done really mechanical heavy raids, and you've done other raids, and you've had success in these areas. All right, now it's time to put all those lessons learned together and deliver, D2 with the ground running. And, I think obviously it didn't reach a lot of those expectations. So we're in this sort of funny spot. And I think, to be honest, I think everybody's feeling it. Content creators and players alike are feeling it at the moment. And you know what? I think a lot of people are just taking a bit of a break and playing other games, and I'm sure we'll come back with Curse of Osiris and when probably some of those quality of life changes happen as well.
Yeah, that's You know what? It's like listening to a band you like, and they've got this really killer first album, and then they bring out the second album, and it's kind of like, that's what Destiny 2 it kind of feels like for me, like second album syndrome, like that whole it's not quite as good as the old stuff. It's still good. It's still, all the ingredients are there, but it's just not quite there. I don't know.
The big issue that I personally have with D2, and I think Broman actually put in a tweet this morning, is that it's got all this amazing things that we've spoken about before and this morning and all that sort of thing, but it's now I think people are going to come back to it for the DLC, and that's it. They don't have that. I know, like, trying to compare Age of Triumph to D2 Vanilla is like comparing apples to fucking bowling balls. Like, it's so different. It's so different, and they will get there in the end, hopefully. But at this point in time,
I think so.
It's just there's not enough in the interim to hold people in at this point in time. And as you said, Matt, it's Destiny was new. It was new. It was something that hadn't been done before in that way. Which
and think about this. Right?
Yeah.
This is exactly what Log said. It's like the first album or the second album syndrome, and it's actually like any product. Okay, like you make. This is on my mind because I've just listened to Steve Jobs' biography. It's really cool. You know, you have success, right? And you know, for them it was the Mac, right? The Macintosh.
Yep.
And then there's this pressure to go, okay, what are we releasing next? And it was the same for that. It was the same for Disney and Pixar. Like, all right, we had a major movie hit. What's the sequel going to be? What's the next one? Can we replicate it? And it's the same with YouTubers, right? You have a big YouTube video that goes crazy, and then it's like, do I know what made it good, and can I replicate it? And it's like, that's the question across nearly every industry. Do I actually know what I did was so fantastical that people liked, and can I replicate it? And unfortunately, I think D2 answered, I don't think we really knew what people really loved about Destiny 1.
Yeah,
It's true.
that's a good way of putting it. Actually,
It's a really good way.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it is their business and it is what they do, and I'm sure that everyone at Bungie is stinging just as much as we are about where it kind of currently sits. I mean, we'll get to it in a moment, but that reveal stream, like, part of me worries about Deej.
Yeah.
I feel like he might be like, I'm not going to say he's dead inside, but he's half dead inside. Like,
You know what?
There's a lot of pressure, man. There's a lot of fucking pressure on Deej.
The amount of shit that man cops. Like, he's the face of Destiny. Him and Cosmo are the face of Destiny, and they cop
not even Cosmo.
a lot of shit. Like, they cop a lot of shit.
Yeah, they do.
People like at Destiny, at Deej, fix your effing game. You know, he cops a lot of shit, and I wouldn't like to be in his position.
Oh, I reckon
really
he got some pretty fucking solid Twitter filters on. He wouldn't be
I
getting
think
all that
they
much
do
of
have
it.
some solid Twitter filters on. But the thing with Deej is, like, you know, like, you can only play your own thing for so long. You have to take breaks. So, like, you know, like, I'm surprised he didn't say, "Where's my special weapon?" instead of energy or power. Like,
did you get a feeling that he had like a refresher card somewhere, like off camera, just in case, dude? Because I still call it heavy and special.
Yeah, I do
like,
too.
I
do too.
I think we're all guilty of that.
I'll tell you what, there was a lot of memes during that. There was a lot of material for
the most rewarding
for
public
someone
event.
like yourself.
Look,
yourself, Blessed, to do like a montage of that.
Do we just want to get stuck into talking about it?
Yeah,
let's. All right. I'll play the fucking music. Yeah. Oh. News. There we go. News. All right. This week at Bungie, there was no fucking news. You can all go.
There was no news.
There was nothing. They've finally mastered the art of putting out a release that says nothing at all. I mean,
Tumbleweed.
We're in a position at the moment. Blessious has a background in radio. So before we move on, Blessious, how would you rate that transition out of 10?
Actually, I was quite blown away by it. So that gets a solid 9 out of 10.
Hey, yeah.
Hey,
I'll take that any day of the week. It's just me sticking around in Ableton. So
this week, as Log said, the TUAB was, I want to say bare, but bare doesn't really cut it. They have mastered the art of saying nothing and in a lot of words.
I mean, credit where it's due. They did have a whole bloody media release earlier in the week, and it was Thanksgiving. But on the upside, if you managed to get the community video, you were heaps closer to the top, right? People didn't have to scroll so far to see your stuff. So, you know, there's two sides to the coin. Whoever those people are.
But But the big thing that happened this week, which I unfortunately missed out on because of some issues here, but the Curse of Osiris reveal stream 2, which I did see the bullet points, and I went through and tried to watch it in my little hectic morning this morning. But Log, Matt, and Bless, what did you guys think of the reveal stream? What did you think of? Oh, you get really amazing loot. I know I'm paraphrasing, but you get really amazing loot. 2 tokens and a blue engram.
Oh, dude, that is the takeaway from it.
It was perfect. That was perfect. It was like, it's the most loot we've ever given you. It was like there was like 2 chests or something for the public event, and then he opens both, and there's like 1 token from each.
The most rewarding. The most rewarding public event ever. And most of it, I'm assuming, must just be satisfaction at a job well done, because you get fuck all out of it.
And the thing is, like, this is the thing. That was a long public event.
That was more than 5 minutes.
Everyone's already saying the problem is there's not enough rewards, okay? And what they just showed was a long period of time with not enough rewards. It's literally like that embodied the main complaint about Destiny 2 in that one meme, in that one goofer.
It's hard not to laugh at it. Like,
it's hard.
Part of me goes like, and you know how Deej is there. He's like, oh, you know, we've got to like wait for this to happen live, and you know, like we can't script this. We've got to wait for it to be happening in the world. I'm like, you make the fucking game. Like, what? You can't make a public event happen when you want it to, and then for that to happen, part of me just felt like it was. Someone's like just punked him. Someone somewhere is
but
just
wasn't he a little bit like a little bewildered by it? He was like, like.
No, actually, no. It was recorded, right?
It was recorded. Yeah.
Do it again if that was your rewards. God damn it! Do it again.
I know.
That was a bit average, but the rest of it, gentlemen. So the weapons seem like they're pretty cool looking. Like I said, I flicked through the video for the most part just prior to the podcast, but the weapons look pretty cool. The spaces look absolutely incredible. They're talking about it's not. I actually listened to this bit. It's not a procedurally generated area per se. Yep. It is random pieces that have been made, and I think that the term that the designer used was intellectually random. So you're not. That's what he said. That's what he said.
It was like crafted, intentionally crafted experiences or something.
But like they've made these. It's like a Lego set. It's not going to be the same thing every time. It's going to be, so you go through the gate and it's just like, oh, there's something else here. Oh, it's a different way. Like I remember this piece, but it was another way round, like a few times ago.
The whole thing with the way I'm seeing it now with Mercury and that, and the different futures and past versions and all that sort of stuff that we're going to see, is that they've added this layer of kind of like complete randomness to it. You know, like you watch that whole transition through the Infinite Forest. You know, you've got this sort of not procedurally generated, and like part of me is glad about that too, and I'll get to that in a sec. But you know, you've got these Lego blocks that sort of like however many slot together. There's it kind of surprised me to see the Hive there at all, but I guess that's one of those things. It's kind of
was so weird.
The randomness of honestly, you would have done Vex first, right? Like if you had any control over the game, it would have been far more fucking normal. But
it reminded me of Prison of Elders a little bit.
You get into this alternate future that you know, like then you're fighting fucking the Taken, and you know, it kind of there's so much scope there for just different variety of play, and I'm tempering my expectations somewhat, but I am excited about it. The part of it that makes me glad that it's not procedurally generated is that procedurally generated things, and you'll come across these in your gaming life at some point. Occasionally, they just go fucking pear-shaped, right? Like there will be a point where I just can't get past this massive fucking wall that's here for no reason, because it's just you know, when it's spiraling out of control. Occasionally these things happen where the way it works, you know, it's not going to be different every single time. You're going to get repeats, but it's going to be, you know, different enough, I think, to keep it interesting. What do you guys think? Did you take that away from it, or were you a bit
look, so this is just nitpicky stuff, but they're like, hey, we're going to go to the future of Mercury where only the Vex exists. There's no light, there's no dark, only the Vex. First thing you see is a Fallen running around. What the fuck is the Fallen doing there?
Wait. To kind of be on devil's advocate, I don't think you made it to the darkness yet.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Wait, so I think like when they said like when you actually went to like the future, I think it was like this is the one reality where all that exists is fallen. So I don't mean to be devil's advocate, but I think that's what they were trying to say.
I hope so. I hope so.
I hope.
I remember being like, wait, why are the other races here again in the future? Like, I mean, I would be like, if they're gonna do like I hope the dark future timeline where the Vex win. Like, why not make that just, all about the Vex, all different types of Vex and different Vex enemies, and like, this is essentially like a Vex DLC. Like, put it's Osiris and the Vex. Like, bump them up, make them like a centerpiece of this, like, rather than just sort of giving variety by having Fallen or Hive or something else
justify it by saying, like, in each instance there is a chance that you'll encounter a world completely overcome, or a universe completely overcome by one of the factions that you face in the game, right?
Actually, Donnie, I do remember this. Okay, that was my gut reaction, and then he explained it, and Donnie's reminded us in chat, and then he said they're simulating a Fallen attack. He did say that. So then they run simulations, which is why there's like Fallen and Hive and different stuff in there. Yep. Sorry, that's true.
You know what? That actually makes sense. So yeah. All right.
There you go.
No, I'll pay that.
There we go. We've talked ourselves to a solution.
We talked ourselves out. Blessious, what did you think?
Well, before I get into that, you guys said the word Lego a lot. I don't know if you know this, but Destiny has a partnership with Mega Bloks.
Oh shit!
And I'd appreciate it if you guys say Mega Bloks instead of like. No, I'm just joking.
Oh, you know what? They said Lego in the reveal stream. And
what gives them the right? If I was Mega Bloks, I'd be right out of it.
I know. I'm sure there is a piece of paper circulating around with some very pointed words on it right now. You could have said fucking Mega Bloks. Fuck.
I think like the story aspect. It seems like a cool idea. Like going into these like realities that could be a thing. That's cool. But like, is it going to be worth it? Like you do it twice and you're like, oh, well. Thanks to the token system, I'm all done. I got all my loot. I'm good. See ya.
Goodbye.
That's two tokens and blue gun was all I was here for.
Public event system taking. So the public event is from what I've been told too long, and the loot is pathetic.
Not worth.
Oh well. The public event in itself as an activity,
the way that it seemed.
The public event in itself as an activity looked fucking cool. I'll say that. There's a whole lot of like grav lifting, fighting fucking, big minotaurs and all that sort of stuff in really, really cool looking spaces, right? If they make that worth doing, then cool. But I'll tell you what, if it's like a 7-minute event for fucking 2 tokens and a blue, I'm not going to be doing it. At least not outside of just doing it for the fuck of it. Like, it's not going to be a grindable activity, right? If that's the case.
No.
But I dare say that there might be some machinations in the works to get it fucking fixed up. Because that was like so embarrassing.
See, I don't know. Like, part of me thinks like maybe like they're seeing everyone say like, hey, just some quality of life changes. But like maybe they're just like, well, we're just gonna put this out and see what happens. Because you have to admit, like, that had to be done for a long time ago. That was in pre-production before D2 even came out. So I doubt we'd see any, like, new quality of life with it. I think
I think you're right.
2018.
I think they learned the lesson. I think their big takeaway with D1 was continuous content, and they're already working, they've already done DLC 1 and 2, and they're working on 3 and 4. Sort of like they've got to be so far ahead of the curve in that. But then I guess they hadn't expected so many roadblocks to be in the base game and so many complaints. So it's like, how do you get those resources back into making quality of life, or do you just stick to your schedule? I'm not too sure.
Part of me, like, I'm going to put on my cynical hat for a minute, which is one that I normally wear in life and just completely exclude from Destiny. Part of me worries that these kind of quality of life improvements, especially things like private games, shit like that. Like, I worry that they've deliberately bundled it with future releases because it gives people a reason to play them, right? If this, you know, if there is a, and maybe they know that there's a lack of content. I mean, they definitely know now because fucking Reddit's been screaming at them for 2 months. But like, if that is the case and they are desperate to entice people back into the game and they don't feel like they've got the content, then the only other thing they can hinge on is those quality of life improvements. Now, I fucking hope that's not the case. If that is the case, I'm going to be upset. But you know, that'll be what will fit.
Let's talk about a good direction we saw in the stream, which has to be for me the Forge and the Prophecy verses, with basically getting at the, oh my god, I was pausing that shit to read those verses to see if there was any lore in there. Like, oh, there might be lore in here. This could be a book of sorrows. Quick.
If you are listening to this podcast, it is worth jumping into the video just to see Matt go all weird then, because it made me feel like I need a shower.
Yeah, I'm gonna go have a shower after this.
Anyway, their lost Prophecy verses, they did sort of remind me of a couple Grimoire cards that talked about the Three Queens, which has always been a cryptic card, but I couldn't spot anything really about them. But essentially they're like, I guess they're like exotic weapon quests, but for the Vex weapons is what I pulled away from it, is that you'll start a mini quest to get the part to put into the Forge to make the weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what bothered me about that whole thing, and this is just like me being nitpicky. What was the 12th weapon that they ruined our chance to get by putting the little wires through the fucking thing, right?
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, I know damn well that's not just for a wire, just to make it look better.
It's got to be something, right?
I mean, there's a lot of people triggered because like 12 is just such a nicer number to deal with, surely.
Yeah.
You know, like then 11.
Yeah, it's a wholesome. Or 10. You know, don't take one away now.
Well,
I know a lot of people are speculating that there's an exotic.
As a 12th, you reckon?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's basically what these things are, right? They're kind of like curated little storyline things. It's kind of like any of the exotic quests in Destiny 1, where you'd have to go out, do specific actions, or get components to then unlock a exotic. But in this case, it's these specific legendaries. Now, I mean, personally, I think it's pretty cool, but at the same time, it's not anything we haven't seen before. And when I first saw the whole Forge concept, I thought, shit, is this going to be like you can, you know, make random or craft a weapon, you know, like get your, you know, try and mod a friggin' particular perk into a gun or something like that. That was where my mind
went to.
That would be
so cool. That would be really cool.
You know, it's not that, and we need to move on.
Yep. I mean, I'm still interested. I think that style of mechanic has a lot of potential to introduce lore into the storyline and also be a very sort of engaging activity for players to pursue something with collection. Like, we need collections. We need to collect stuff. We like collecting things. We're little fucking hoarders. So I think that works well.
I agree.
Also, the lore tab, Matt, on all the guns.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, there's a lore tab on each of them as well.
Yeah, so that's something to be excited about in and of itself, because that was probably our biggest disappointment, right, with the Iron Banner gear, that there was nothing at all. It was deafening. So at least that.
Whenever I
seems
hear
to be
that,
sorry.
Pardon. Whenever I hear you talk about no lore and Iron Banner, a little bit of me dies.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah.
just a little,
a little bit of just fucking
just a little bit of me, just like presence.
Iron Banner breaks my heart in more ways than one, just because, like, you know, the faction rallies, like the second one gave more loot, right? There's at least 2 weapons, right? I thought that Iron Banner would do that, and nope. It was just like, hey,
I dare say Iron Banner after season 1 will be a completely different animal, because it is just punishing at the moment. It is fun.
Yeah,
I've gone up 10 levels on PC. I've got 1 pair of legs. That's it. Like, that
fun.
is. So what? I'm going to do 40 levels of this shit to try and get not even the whole set? Like, no thanks.
It's very, very average. But yeah. it's just do they up the drop rates for the armor pieces? Do they because from what I've been told and from what I've seen, they still drop non-Iron Banner armor pieces and weapons.
Yes. I just get that that fucking ugly Kerak armor set. The Titan armor set that looks like the like if a knight tried to make his own armor but out of cardboard. That's what it looks like. It's just really unconvincing, like medieval knight gear, cosplay equipment, right?
It's just that if you're going to do the token system, put increase the loot pool, and for Iron Banner based gear. And then,
well, I think they're going to
have
you can buy it. I think aren't they going to make it so you can buy it?
It did read that way when they put the was it Gamescom that they did that release about what was upcoming. That basically, well, whatever the one in France is, that basically they'd be looking down the barrel of you being able to buy gear with your tokens rather than it being the endless grind and fucking cross your fingers and hope that it drops.
Yeah, I'd rather have that.
Yeah, I think that it takes the nastiness out of the RNG of it all. Like, that if you really want something, you can get it, rather than where I sit right now, like going, I want the helmet and the arms, but I could be playing this for the rest of the week and do nothing else and still not get it, so why the fuck bother?
But it's that balance though, right?
Yeah.
It's that balance, like...
It's too easy, no one does it. If it's too hard, no one does it, right?
Exactly. And also...
Oh, my face cam.
Oh no,
face cam down.
My face cam.
Your beautiful face. It's all right. It'll sort itself out.
Think about Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
If you can do the math on it, you better make sure it's in that middle ground. Like, you don't want if you can buy stuff, right? You don't want people working out. Okay, I need X amount of tokens, that's going to take X amount of games. Oh God, I've got to play 200 hours of Iron Banner to get a full armor set. Yeah. That's basically what happened in Star Wars, is like, you could work out the math of how long it would take and then realize it was way too high.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. And I mean, that ties in well to probably the next thing we're going to discuss in... Have we lost Bless? Is Bless still there?
No, I'm here. There it goes. I don't know what it is.
It's what it is.
Maybe I need
Liz.
I'm gonna hang up and rejoin. I'm sorry, guys.
You're right, man.
All right, no worries. You do you.
We'll have an intermission.
So the text, the fact that all of the weapons have a theme of modified Vex tech and all that sort of thing, that's pretty damn cool. I actually really enjoy that aspect, and it's something different. And I like the fact that it's different. It looks different.
Yeah.
It looks different. You don't see that. You don't see, you haven't seen that per se in the weapons and all that sort of thing in vanilla. You really haven't, as far as I'm concerned. You just haven't. And I'm not. Who's the fella next to Mylan? Frank.
Yeah, they're in the same frame because it just looks like there's a dude. Like, Bless is just...
Who's that purple?
Nah, the other way.
Who's that purple tie dude? Am I back?
Nah.
Do you see my face cam?
Nah, it's still not going. But that's cool.
Wait, really? I'm sorry, guys. I'll let you down.
Nah, it's okay. Nah. I mean, if anyone really wants to look at your face, they can just watch the first half again, and that's fine. I think we've given it a good 40 minutes. We've established what you look like. It's okay.
Sorry, guys.
No, it's fine.
No,
it'll kick back in or it won't. It's not worth worrying about.
So there's just while we sort out the capture and all that sort of thing. There's a question or a statement in here from a person, a Jingleheimer. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're enjoying it. Hi, friends. I'm in the minority of people who think factions should have stayed the same as D1 with weapons and vendors. Maybe instead of faction rallies, the NPCs from all the worlds could have gone to the tower and offered up guns and armor from where they go. Like Ashu could have given us Vex guns, armor, Sloan Hive weapons and armor, Devrim Fallen weapons and armor. It's just weird that the factions no longer offer constant rewards and gear. That's a valid point. I would like to see that.
You know what it does do? It reduces your ability to grind for something else. You know what I mean? Like when you were playing Destiny 1, you were simultaneously grinding for the Vanguard or, you know, Shaxx or whatever, and whichever faction you represent. Now there's kind of this week-long burst of just going and picking up parcels and turning them into your faction thing, and other than that, they're irrelevant. Like for mine, it would have added a depth of variety to the game if they had been playable like day in, day out, rather than for 1 week a month. But that's not where we are, and I dare say that like things will change, because it's, as it stands, it's not in its ideal spot. I like the idea of a faction rally. I like the idea of having a faction-based event. I just don't think that 1 week a month to get, you know, like, and let's be honest, Bungie stacked it so that fucking New Monarchy would win. Oh, here's a crap grenade launcher. Here's a crap gun.
What did I say?
You did. You know what? We started it on this podcast. Let's never let Dead Orbit lose, and then Bungie just fucked us.
You know what? Well, there was a story that came out on stream last night that you were like, oh, I'm going to grind 800 fucking Dead Orbit coins to hand in for the clan challenge and all that sort of thing. And then you've decided to go and turncoat just to get a sword, and changed changed your Titan to New Monarchy just to get the sword, and then changed back 45
Do you
minutes
want me
later.
to explain what I actually fucking did before you drop and call me out?
No, you're a trader. You're a turncoat.
Oh, dude, I did the faction rally on PC, and I did the filthy fucking glitch where I could get bazillions of tokens, and I smashed it for a day, and then I left it, and I got fucking heaps, right? And I turned them all into old mate, creepy looking pedophile guy, whatever his name is, the bloody future, the Dead Orbit dude. And I thought,
Iraq Jalal.
Yeah, Iraq Jalal.
Iraq Jalal.
I worry because he says even children can serve Dead Orbit. He dead set does say that.
Does he?
He dead set does say that. He does, and it's not right. But I digress, right?
Peter, you
what
really
I did,
should,
Sloth,
really
what I did, I realised that Dead Orbit were absolutely categorically going to lose anyway. I did my part. So at 2 minutes before reset, I loaded into the tower on my Xbox that I hadn't even assigned a fucking faction yet, and went, you know what? Guess what? I'm a New Monarchy for 2 minutes, got the sword at reset, didn't do a single thing to earn it except to talk to the dude in his fucking rug palace, and that's it. I got a sword for nothing. So if anything, I've just fucking ripped him off. I'm fine with it.
Hey, look, how about this for an idea, right? This is what we said last week. You can't have such a discrepancy between the weapons because they're going to be even. So we said, you know, if you're going to put a New Monarchy sword, why to really encourage loyalty to a faction, make a Dead Orbit sword, a New Monarchy sword, and a Future War Cult sword, and put them all up at the same time, because then you can really support your faction, because it's not a choice about the weapon. It's more about like the aesthetics of it. Like, this is a cool looking New Monarchy sword. This is a cool looking, and I want that. And you know what? I think it's too easy for everyone. I reckon join your faction. You don't get it unless you're in that faction. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine how people would grind if it's like your faction either wins and you get something or you get nothing?
Yeah, exactly.
Bungie, if you are going to do that, like if you're going to do a pulse rifle for Dead Orbit, pulse rifle for Future War Cult, pulse rifle, please make them different. Don't just give us 3 reskins of different colors.
Yeah, exactly.
Make them different.
That too. Yeah.
Without a shadow. That's my one complaint. And like, I know that they said that with seasons you get different gear, but man, you have to admit, like, you can accept, like, I going into this game knew that there's gonna be some reskins. But little did I know that Iron Banner would just be a little token on something and a reskin, or Dead Orbit, you know, the Dire Promise, which has little to be reskinned on it. It's just blacker with a little Dead Orbit sticker on the handle.
Dude, whenever I see guns like that, I just imagine like a production line of guns, and then like, oh, hang on, these are the Dead Orbit ones, and they go down a little conveyor belt that's in a different direction, and someone puts a little fucking sticker on them, like, boop, and they go through. And then off they go into the world. They're Dead Orbit ones now, baby. They're completely different.
It's like this is exactly like, you know, the mid 2000s with the fucking Mazda BT50 and the Ford Ute that they came out with, which were the same chassis, the same inner bits, the same outer bits, and it's just a badge change. Bungie, sort it out. Sorry, I'm so frustrated to see the same weapon.
I just never
just
thought
a
that we'd
different
get
skin
to
on
the
it.
point on this podcast of yelling out about automobiles.
Oh. I'm sorry. Anyway, back to the it just listen. Back to the. So we've got 2 new strikes as well. You first get introduced by the story campaign solo. Who completed the story campaign, you can play them in the strike playlist. There are 2 versions of these strikes: solo version integrated to the story, and the regular strike version designed for 3 players. So does that mean that they're going to be aiming for more more people to be doing solo campaign runs?
All right. So if I may say something, Destin Legary from IGN said there. Wait, hang on 1 second.
Friend of
one
the
second.
show.
There's a definite quote that will hurt you to the core. And basically it was like, there is no change. Basically, the solo strike that you get is the same strike you'll get, but it just requires 3 people. All it is just the bosses take more bullets. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, that's when you read it out like that, it's disappointing, right? But I think the thing that Destiny really does bad is replayability for story missions. So if you consider that, like, if every story mission that had a substantial boss fight at the end then became a strike, that could then become a heroic strike, that could then become a nightfall, there'd be a hell of a lot more replayability in the game. There'd be more than the 5 strikes we got now. There'd be like 10. So if they designed it that way to get more replayability in the game, I can kind of see where they're going. At the same time, when you read it off a piece of paper like that, it sounds fucking shit.
Oh yeah, see, look, I think there's 2 sides to that. Like, I saw a lot of comments in the Twitch chat that's like, recycled content, you know, and which is sort of, you know, you're suggesting, you know, the campaign missions can be used as strike missions, and I don't know, I sort of disagree. I think strikes should be separate. And strikes are very underutilized at the moment. Once again, it's a time and reward thing, I think, and I think that's something that's quite missing from Destiny, and adding not patrols, adding the adventures and adding the lost sectors and the way that public events work puts a really weird balance on motivating people to enter strike missions, which are actually really cool strike missions, to be honest. And they've got different dialogue each time you go through. So I don't know. I do think strikes should be separate, but I also agree with Log. I think no one ever goes back and plays the campaign. I mean, they added a core array who lets you replay the campaign for tokens. Can I ask you guys, have you done that? I've done it.
Yeah, I have the Warlock chest piece, and then I said, I'm never doing this again.
No.
So you did it to get an armor piece.
Yeah, and I was like, whoop, got it. See ya.
Got it. Yeah, don't need to do this again.
But see, I don't even know what it looks like. I don't even know what the gear looks like. If I knew, I guess you could.
The gear that you get when you started out the game.
Oh, is it?
Recycled. Recycled content. So I can get that.
Well done.
Recycled content.
All these arguments are valid arguments. It's just a lot of these arguments are done by people who just like to yell,
stir up,
like just scream incoherent shite on Reddit.
Yeah, well,
we can't
say that.
It's just could we not?
But so we've got heroic strikes.
Like if you've got
So I mean, that's probably the biggest positive out of all of this, right? That we're getting 2 additional strikes effectively in the rotation, and we're getting a heroic strike playlist, which hopefully, if they incentivize it correctly, is a whole fucking night worth of entertainment, just grinding through strikes and fucking talking to your mates, which is, like as you touched on, Matt, it is a part of the game that it really is fucking missing at the moment, because there's no reason to do strikes whatsoever. You get the same rewards you do for a public event that takes fucking 3 minutes. We're back to the carrot and stick again.
All you need is strike-specific loot, and people would be grinding that, man.
That's what we've said before. Give us strike specific loot.
Give me Crucible specific loot. I will grind that.
Blessious. Ever since Blessious been married, he's been grinding up on everything, yo.
Oh my god.
Wow.
And finally, the thing that was actually brought up this morning as a fix, air quotes, from Bungie and all that sort of thing. So the great experience controversy of 2017. Now, lately there has been a clarion call. So the more you play, the more XP you get, is what my general understanding of it is. Now, if you do public events, as all of us do, we grind the fuck out of them. You'll actually hit a soft XP cap when grinding. So, like, ideally, if you were to do a strike, you get 5,000 XP, and then you get like more XP the more you do. Now, like I said, there has been a soft cap put on that. So if you're just grinding public events, you actually won't get as much XP as you would playing all of the bits of the game.
I mean, basically, the quicker you were accruing XP, the more of a limit was placed on it artificially. And I think the thing that people took most exception to was the fact that it came up with a really big number of XP you just earned, and then put a really small amount of it into your bar that actually progressed you towards receiving another bright engram. You know, like people worked out through DIM and shit like that, where there's that third-party interface where they can actually track how much progress they're making on their experience, that it in no way added up and diminished the quicker that you were playing. Now, I can understand why they would put this feature in, but why they would have it say a number that you earned and then like not give you that number, I think that seemed dishonest, and that fucking incensed a lot of the community into, like, you know, especially after where we were last week as citizens of the internet with EA just getting their ass handed to them for the microtransaction thing. You know, like, people are sensitive to this sort of shit at the moment, rightfully so, and no one wants to spend their money on things that they can't, you know, that they don't feel like they're getting a fair shake at. So I can understand where people are coming from. Now, Bless, you came in to our little Skype conversation with good news this morning. If you want to lay it all on us.
Lay what on us?
Look, the Bungie release about this.
Oh, that they just fixed it.
Yeah.
Like they went, like, oh, see, that was the thing, like, that I'm baffled by, because, like, I would never expect them to fix something like that. But, like, what they did is, like, they just said that, hey, we heard you, we removed it. I'm just like, what? Like, I would.
Why though?
Like,
you know, like, there are so many other things that they could.
I don't understand that either.
Wait, but no, hold on, because wasn't it like something that I didn't even really understand, this clarion call or whatever it was? I didn't really do it.
It's a horn, Matt. It's a horn. It's a horn to rally the troops.
Okay.
So basically, it was a double EXP weekend. That's all it was.
Yeah.
You play with the clarions, you get double XP.
Is that what they're talking about, or are they just talking about XP in general?
In general, there was a soft cap.
Yeah, in general, but like there are people that like the first comment that's under it and that has like the most attention to it. It says, reading this, I'm unsure what this means for XP gains. Like like they write things so kind of like, well, this is how it is. We kind of fixed the thing, so we turned something off. And like, did you turn the XP off? They're never really. I don't know. You always have to read it and reread it. Like, you're like, what?
Effective immediately, we are deactivating this system. And the system that they just described in the paragraph before is about how if you're doing the same event, it will slow down your XP, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Which, like, the thing that I said to you guys is, like, when you're playing the story, what do? You always do public events, just because, one, like, you're trying to get your subclasses, and you feel like that's, like, the most rewarding thing to get gear, right? And it's kind of weird that they kind of go against you and be like, no, why don't you try Crucible before you level 20, eh? Why don't you go do something else? I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah,
all values displayed consistently in the user interface. So that's what you were talking about, Log, is that it was one thing and capping it on another or whatever.
Yeah, and to a fucking drastic degree. Like, if you really grind and you're completing things fast, like, it'll come up and you will get like 5% of the number that it displays on the screen, which is like, it's a huge disparity. It's not like it's even
5% is pretty big.
Yeah, it is like a 95% reduction in the effectiveness of farming things if you do them quick enough, which is fucking crazy.
My thing with this is just like, okay, so like you can go in and like obviously there's an on-off button for systems, right? And like you hear people loud and clear. And for me, I never knew of this issue, but I know that there's other people that were crying about, I'm not saying negatively, but maybe like, hey, do something about high caliber rounds, do something with select few weapons. And there's never been a sandbox update, but it's just kind of weird that they're like, hey, enjoy your Black Friday. By the way, we took this thing out. It's like, what?
Yeah, I agree. Like, their moves really quick on that, but there's a lot of other things that are probably equal priority, maybe.
You know what else I think? I think this is the big bottom line issue too, because the second that they appeared dishonest to people after the EA shitstorm about things that involve microtransactions, fucking hell, it's a storm waiting to happen, right? Like,
you're right.
It's such a contentious issue at the moment. They just did not want to fuck around with it. They just went bang and distanced themselves as quickly as possible. And you know what? Maybe it was hard to do. Maybe they had literally someone working on it from the fucking moment that it broke and started getting traction on Reddit. Maybe they've had someone sitting there figuring out the code. But I mean,
that's true.
I agree. It is disappointing that something like this gets fixed so quickly when there's other things that seem to be glaringly painful to the player base that do not. And, you know, I guess that's what...
Yeah.
I mean, there's been a lot of that. I mean, the thing through the week with Fortnite getting the patched ARs and all that sort of thing where people are like, oh, they fixed this in under a week and, you know, we wait 3 months for a balance patch from Bungie. Yeah. I can see why people are frustrated, and that it just lines up. I mean, I'm sure it's like comparing apples and oranges in a real sense, but you know, it is what it is. And I think,
well, look, I think you're right with the microtransactions, because I sort of forgot that your XP is linked to your whatever those engrams are. What are they called?
The bright engrams.
They're linked to the bright engrams, and that's linked essentially to indirectly to whether you're motivated to put money into buying some aesthetics gear. And, you know, I guess to a certain extent, someone could connect the dots with what EA was doing, and this grind is too hard, and you've got a system in here that is making it there's a lot more incentive to put money into it rather than to put time in it, because it's taking too long to get bright engrams.
Yeah.
And then you get I mean, Bungie was just smarter. They just didn't call it a loot box. We've always had loot boxes with Bungie. It's just a fucking engram.
Yeah.
Do you know? Like they sort of flew under the radar a little bit with some of those criticisms, I think. And I reckon you're right, Log. I think they saw the shitstorm with EA and they're like, this needs to be fixed ASAP. Let's just remove it.
Right.
Yep, someone had a whip on them. Just hurry up and fix the issue. Fucking get in there.
Actually, now that you say that, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
I think it's just like, you know, in the back of our minds, we all just wish that like a developer would be like, you know, that developer that we always wanted, like, hey, please, we love the game, but this is their issue. And they'll be like, I hear you. I see you. Here's a patch. And I don't know. I like, it's weird to compare it, but like was said previously, like Fortnite introduced a patch Monday. People are like, hey, we're having this issue. They did it the day before, you know, Thanksgiving in the US, and everyone's just like, holy crap. Like that's the equivalent of taking high caliber rounds out of the game. Like, you know what? It's just like, man, like I wish Bungie, we wish you heard us, Bungie.
Bungie, we need
Bungie,
you.
Please listen to us. We want to play a game more, Bungie.
It's funny that, like, you know, every time you hear someone from Bungie speak, they're like, oh, I'm always in the forums looking at the feedback, and like,
if I was
I just imagine a person just like with Reddit open on their desk, just hiding under it. just with Reddit on their monitor going, oh fuck, it's just overwhelming at the moment. At least now, after Destiny 2 and all that sort of stuff, it's, you know, there's you go on there every single day and there's 5 articles about the fucking issues people have got. It's, you know, I try not to go there at this point because it's like that.
I'm gonna pull it up right now and see what's going on.
Yep. Maybe we should do that. We should make a new segment. Just complaints from Reddit.
Okay, Reddit. This one has almost 6,000 upvotes.
Yep.
Bungie suggestion: removing all depth from game because casuals is insulting to their intelligence. Make the depth understandable instead. All right.
Wow, that's cutting.
That's really good. Yeah, that's pretty brutal.
You know, I'm not going to disagree with it.
No, I agree.
I can sit here and say that, you know, a lot of, I mean, especially when you look back at Destiny 1, a lot of what scared people off Destiny was that they felt like they had no idea what the fuck was going on. And
here, look, this is my thing in the end, right? They've got to, look, they've had the head start. This comes back to that first product lead or whatever, first idea lead. They were the only people in the pool. They were only player in the market for that point. We've got other games on the horizon now that are entering this genre, and if they're still caught with their pants down, someone will nab that audience. They've got to be talking about this at board meetings with Activision, and those guys are going to go, look, there's going to be some serious threats with games released that will appeal to the foundation of Destiny players. And if they do it better than us and we still got this stuff that's not optimized and the players are still unhappy, they'll stop playing. I mean, look at Fortnite. It's not even that, and it's not even that remotely similar, but there are a lot of Destiny YouTubers, Destiny content creators making Fortnite videos. And like, this is like a self-cannibalizing thing, right? Okay, so views are going down on YouTube content creators. There's less stuff for them to make videos about, i.e. there's less interest. People aren't being constantly reminded to play Destiny. People feel like there's nothing to do in this. They don't play Destiny. So like the lack of content feeds into their marketing scheme where you have less people in the community talking about it, and then all of a sudden you've got a slowly declining player base. And then all you really need for a perfect storm is for a better IP to come out that's in the same genre. And yoink, thank you. Thanks for making the, you know, first-person shooter RPG sort of MMO sort of thing popular. And we'll have them. Thank you very much.
Well, I mean, it's not like there's nothing on the horizon. You know, there's Anthem coming. Warframe's kind of already sort of...
Warframe's doing well.
And I mean, I've had conversations with guys in the clan saying, oh, you know, like the only thing they prefer about Destiny over Warframe is the actual gunplay. You know, like,
that's the thing that Bungie has is gunplay.
Yeah. Like, and it's always been their strength. It's, you know, like, and I think it will continue to be so, but it only gets you so far. And I think they're realizing that now.
Yeah. Like, I think Anthem could be the greatest thing in the world for anyone that likes Destiny. Because it could be finally the thing that lights their ass on fire. And then they're like, oh, we hear you now. Oh, we hear you. High caliber rounds. Oh, we're so slow.
Oh, my God.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, that's where I was trying to go with that. That's exactly what I was thinking.
What they need more than anything else is a substantial fire under the fucking ass, right?
Yeah.
For me, it's like, look, there's two games that I think that can really light a fire under their ass. Borderlands 3. Like, what if they're like, hey, by the way, guys, this is like MMO levels. You're going to play with your buddies. There's going to be raids. There's going to be shooting. There's going to be PvP. And then everyone will be like, adios. Adios.
Dude.
Or,
bye. You just gave me a boner.
I know. And I didn't say lore yet. And there's going to be lore. Comprehensive story. Oh!
Borderlands lore is just, I mean, the story of that's just so on fucking tilt anyway. I'd love to see Matt try and transition.
Please.
You'd have to invent nearly a new character. Like,
you want a game where the lore is so completely sideways that you just, at least I struggle to find it. Bloodborne.
Oh, God.
Bloodborne. Dark Souls and Bloodborne lore.
Do you know that I've got a series on Bloodborne?
No, I don't care.
Yeah,
what do you think this is? What do you think we are, friends? Come on, man. No, I agree with Blessious. There are a few games coming out that if Bungie don't, you know, get their shit in one sock, there's going to be some fires.
I think when you go from being top dog to an underdog, I actually think one of the benefits of that is flexibility. If you think about smaller teams, underdog teams coming up in the world of game development, they're much more responsive because they got nothing to lose and everything to gain by talking to the community. And I think when you sit at the top of a genre for too long, I mean, this is the same as like PUBG and Fortnite. Fortnite has nothing to lose, and they can learn from all the mistakes PUBG made. And if they show their audience they're more responsive to changes and listen to the audience, start stealing some of it, right?
Yeah.
Dude, you don't.
And Destiny will be the same. Destiny will be PUBG, whatever the new Fortnite is for Destiny will be that fire.
You don't even have to look outside Destiny to find that example, man. Look at the fucking PC port that Vicarious Visions have produced, man. It is unbelievable. And when you think about what would have driven that to be that way, it's that they want the business. They're hungry. It's a new thing to them. It matters. It's, like where...
It's true.
And I'm not saying that Destiny 2 doesn't matter to Bungie by any stretch of the imagination. It is their company right now anyway. But to have that added fire and motivation and fight is probably what we're missing. And they had it with Destiny 1 because it was the first fucking step away from Halo, right? After Halo, brought them to the top of the heap, this was, we've got everything to prove, we're making a new IP, and this is what it's about. 2-3 years later, they're top of the heap still. They've proved that they can make a game that engages an audience over numerous years. And then this kind of... now that I sit here and think about it, Destiny 2 in some ways does feel complacent. It feels like, these are the things you like. Go and do them. And it just it's just not, there's a lack of genuineness there. And, I'm sure that there's, they've got to be aware of it. But where does that drive come from to fix it? Hopefully another competitor that we can all enjoy on the side, but makes Destiny better in the long run, right?
Yeah, that's true.
My thing is, I just hope that anyone that is like making a game, doesn't even have to be a rival. Like I hope Anthem like sees everything that is going on, and they can just like nod it down, and then they can go to a board head meeting and be like, "Hey guys, let's make sure that this game feels rewarding. We're not handing out rewards." Like, I don't know, like what I've been thinking for like ever about the clan system rewards, and like I think it's a great idea, but like what it should be is just like, oh, hey, your friends ran the raid. Here is a unique armor set that you can only get from me. Don't give me... I would be so brokenhearted if D1 had the clan system and be like, oh, here's your Fatebringer.
Oh,
I've been like,
oh. Yeah, I guess,
like,
like, I'll agree with that because it does take the I don't know, that the adrenaline rush you got. Like, if using that example, if you got a Fatebringer from Hawthorne and never had to experience the soul-crushing fucking I didn't get it again kind of thing. Like, it does. It detracts from the game, and maybe that's it. I agree with you about the clan system. I agree that, like, it just lacks fucking depth. It's there. It's a good system. It's a really good idea. Give people a reason to fight together for a common goal. It's wonderful. But it doesn't fucking do anything. Like,
it's true.
It doesn't get you
I like this is the weird thing, right? And I agree. And someone just typed this in chat. It's like, okay, if we take the basics from D1, did anyone ever say that the community we needed a system for that? I guess they did with matchmaking and raids, right? The guided games was the thing to get more people into raids, but the community was amazing as it is. Like the community had solved that issue to a lot of its extent.
Yeah.
Or maybe it hadn't. Had it not with the raids, I think their percentage of people doing raids wasn't very good. But Guided Games doesn't seem like that solved it either.
Guided Games has not solved it in the slightest, at all. I think we've come to that. I think everyone in the Destiny community has come to that conclusion sooner, by now. Guided Games is the silliest idea that I could see what they were going for.
Yeah,
I could absolutely see what they were going for, but it's just a ridiculous idea. That it was a good idea that was ridiculously it was implemented not very well. It was
Should we move on to? Should we finish up with some DDU content review?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Because mine,
let's do that.
Mine this
we got
week,
anything else you want to say about Destiny before we move on?
just be better, Destiny.
Just be better.
Just like right now, you're running at about 75%.
Just be better.
You're about 75% of your true potential. I'd like you up, well over 80 after Curse of Osiris, and then up in the 90s maybe after the second DLC, and then we can push for 100, and then we can all be happy, and it'll be a hell of a lot more enjoyable to be fucking hosting a podcast about this shit rather than talking about negatives. We can talk about positives, which we try to keep balanced anyway. But let's do the content review. I'll go first. I'm first on the list because that's just where I land every time because it's copy and paste, Mine this week has nothing to do with gaming at all. It's I'm not sure if anyone out there is familiar with 10-second songs, but pretty big YouTube channel. Does kind of like different style takes of, we'll get like Katy Perry's Raw and sing it like fucking Michael Jackson, shit like this. The dude is probably the most disgustingly talented vocalist I've ever fucking seen. And for that to be a guy that's on YouTube and not a dude that's fronting a band is just, it makes me happy because it's just a different way of going about something awesome. But the one that I have watched this week and I found absolutely fucking hilarious, it was 10 songs as if they were performed by Metallica, which is right up my alley, being the metalhead that I am. But the new Taylor Swift song, as performed by like 80s Metallica with thrash, just thrashing it out. It is worth it's probably worth a look even if you don't like that style of music because it is just fucking silly. So that's mine. I loved it. I mean, that's kind of. Everyone knows I'm into my music and stuff. Like I fucking stream with the guitar half the time, but I like that sort of thing. Reimagining a song, making it fucking something different but the same. It's a magical thing. Go for it. Check it out. Go Man at Arms. Right, who wants to go next? Matt, what do you got? Twitter drama?
Well, I feel like what happened was you guys told me what your ones was last week, and then I went and watched them and then made them my one for this week.
That's okay.
Because did we talk about Deadpool 2 last week, the trailer?
Yeah, the fucking Bob Ross one. Yeah,
I went and watched that.
Mine last week.
Dude, I watched that and then I ended up down a rabbit hole of just watching Bob Ross painting. And it's
just on Twitch.
Just, I don't know why it's so magical, man, but like it just makes you want to paint. You're like, oh my God, I'm thinking maybe I could be a painter. It looks so easy. Like,
happy little trees.
Dude, Bob Ross is amazing, man.
This is your world.
If only Bob Ross could do Destiny. Could you imagine? He has a game developer. All right, so what we're going to do is just put some nice trees over here, and then we're going to add some quality of life changes over here. All right. All right. You're going to want to be in the game. You're going to want to play this game.
God. This is your world.
So that, and I'm halfway through. Skill Up made a video, The Untold History of EA's Long and Rich Pay-to-Win Love Affair. I think it's going to be really interesting. I'm only a couple minutes in, but he always makes really good content, Skill Up. So
yeah, it's
another
pretty well researched, man.
Pretty well researched. Yeah, I would have a look at that.
Slothy.
My bit of content this week is actually the co-optional podcast from Total Biscuit. This week he's had Cry from like Cryotic. He's a YouTuber. He's a big YouTuber and a streamer. But yeah, anyway, they talk about net neutrality, a whole bunch of games, Battle Royale, Total War, Warhammer 2, Battlefront 2, Wolfenstein 2. It was a really good watch. Really good watch. It was a really good listen. I was listening to it while I was cleaning the house the other day. They all make very valid points. And people are all they're all very just give it a listen. Just give it a listen. I don't know.
It's a long podcast.
I don't know how to explain it any better. They make some really valid points about all these games and give some good insight to what's happening in America at the moment with the net neutrality as well. So
yeah, that's cool.
If you're interested in that sort of thing, please go and check that out. Bless, what have you been watching this week? What caught your eye, man?
Oh, well, oh my God. Well, that's a hard one. I just been, it's not video gaming. Wait, no, it is video gaming. I'm literally addicted to Fortnite. That's just like when I have a free moment, I just go in and try to get that, that fish dinner, that #1 victory. So right now, that's me. That's what I do for all my free time. I just try to brag out, man. It's boring, I know.
I haven't played Fortnite yet, and I mean, I've got a minor addiction to PUBG. I'm a bit like that with PUBG. Like I'm already thinking, like, as soon as this podcast, I probably could squeeze in a couple of games of PUBG.
Yeah. Well, why don't you download?
It does manage to weasel its way into the fucking podcast every week. I will say that PUBG is becoming a problem. Matt, we're gonna have to have an intervention.
Blessious, tell me about the thing with Fortnite. Like, I don't know if I prefer the aesthetics of it. I think that's the issue with it.
So for me, this is what I like about it. One thing, say like, if you're on PS4, I'm on PC, we can play together. That's cool. It's free. Also, just like the framework, like it's so reliable. Like just like like there's so many bugs with PUBG. I'm not saying there's not bugs with this, but it's just like it feels like it's a well-built engine versus this game is fun, but she may blow at any minute. Like,
yeah.
Isn't it Unreal based?
Yeah,
it's Unreal.
Both of them are Unreal based. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. What, PUBG's Unreal based too?
Yeah, it's funny, but it's ironic.
But Epic Games made Unreal, and that's who it's published by. So
true. Yeah, I can see the stream of logic there. They know what they're fucking doing with it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a Ford maker driving a Ford compared to.
Come on, hey, no, we've done enough cars. We don't have to bring fucking Mazda into this shit again.
Okay. Does it have a Hemi?
Can we just talk about something that I've just remembered? It was my featured content 2, maybe 3 weeks ago. It was actually one of your vids, Bless, the 90s fucking trailer.
Oh my God.
Can you just please tell me please tell me it came to you in a dream or something that you had to, I have to do this.
No, it was just like, I wanted to make like a long time ago before D2 came out, not long ago. I did like this weird like Tim and Eric spoof on like, hey, take a vacation and with the EDZ. And it was supposed to be like this awkward, just like, what is this like 90s commercial just being sold to? And so I wanted to do something like that, but I was just like, hey, let's do something where it's like 90s theme. It's like, yo, dude, did you hear about this new game, dude?
It was like, I don't know why, but the whole thing just reminded me of the fucking Ninja Turtles, like the original series.
Oh
I was like, this was my childhood. It was so fucking solid.
You know how hard
I showed my wife, and she was like, "What is this?
What is this?
What is like, this is the ad for the new Destiny thing coming out." She's like, "What?"
You're like, they need their money back.
Yeah,
I need to get a refund on that agency.
I reckon it could go viral. I reckon it could be a huge thing. I think Bungie are missing out by not, just using that rather than these Twitch streams that blow up in their face.
Like the Twitch streams could be cool, but like. I'm sure like they have a million things to do in their day, let alone rehearse, but they got to add like something, like they need to drink like some coffee before instead of being like, all right, well, this is going to be the most rewarding content that you'll ever play.
Yeah, like part of me just wishes that they'd break out of the fucking like just trying to be
character.
Yeah, like just, you know what, Deej, have 3 fucking beers before you start and just limber up. And they'd be like, hey, dudes, like, these are guys that I see every day. Not, this is such and such designer, such and such, such and such. Oh, welcome to the couch for the first time. Fuck, no one cares. G'day, mate. Yeah, how you going?
Can you imagine? Imagine this reaction. Imagine if Deej just looked directly deadpan at the camera and said, come on, seriously? And then just smashed his controller on the ground and then just looked at someone and said, you're fired. Do you know, imagine how much good publicity, like if it just chucked that
would be some good publicity. And it doesn't even have to be real, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. exactly.
I reckon they need to up the theatrics of it. That's what. That's where we're at. I reckon they could bring Bless in as the consultant to do exactly that. I think that's a good idea. I'm going to write that. I'm going to tweet Deej.
Dear Deej.
Get Bless to do your next.
Deej.
Get Bless to write the script for the next fucking reveal.
Like there's like camera pans prepared. Like it drops that horrible thing. Just a camera pan to his face.
Just a side glance. Just a massive side glance.
Yeah,
like his head just starts shaking. Oh, no. No! No! I can't do this anymore.
All right, well, you know what? This has been a blast, but I think we've run out of shit to talk about. What do you reckon, guys? Is there anything you want to cover off on before we depart to sail the fair seas of the internet?
No.
You guys both shook your head, and then there's just a photo of Bless. So I'm not really...
That's a photo of me.
He looked like he might be about to say something. It's a good photo. I'll pay that. Fair enough.
It is.
I've had 25 minutes of looking at it.
Sorry about that.
That's fine, dude. These things happen. This is Skype. This is...
You should switch over to that Discord, you know?
It doesn't work. It doesn't work for us because it changes based on whoever's talking. So we can't screen cap it and all that sort of stuff. So Discord, if you're listening, fix your shit. We'll use it. Seriously. Please. All right, well, what's everyone's plans for content in this coming week? Has everyone got something in the pipeline?
No.
No. Matt's just given up on Law.
Yeah, I'm a little bit defeated. I've got.
Can I give you a suggestion?
Yes, you can. What? Tell me now. Give me the.
Why don't you do this? Why don't you give us what ifs?
What if?
Like, yeah, just be like, you know, this is what would happen if this happened. Like, you know, if Saint 14 never left the tower. And you can like make that a series, you know? Like this is what would happen if Saint 14 never left the tower.
I tell you what, we'll do a collab on it.
Let's do it.
He's just like,
you can voice Saint 14 as like the 90s Saint 14. Yay!
Yo, dude. Yo, speaker, dude. Yo, man, I sent the disturbance, man. I'm going to go check out Mercury, dude. All right.
Yeah,
Saint 14 is a 1990s skate bong.
Good idea.
Totally.
Anyway, I've got some information that I missed on the last video about Sturm and Drang, which was the most ridiculous video to make because they were all German words and they were incredibly difficult to pronounce. They actually use like German literature as like part of the foundational law for it. And Danny's mum's German, so I had to ask her, and she rang like her sister who speaks German, and they were talking me through how to say it, and it's just fucked words. Anyway, we got through that.
I'm totally watching that just to hear you struggle now.
Yeah. And I missed a really big thing in game, so I'm going to go back and cover that. And then I've had the 9 sitting on the back burner for quite a long time. And I've got a couple other things that are sort of along the lines of what Bless says, like more. Rather, I don't know. I guess more on the entertainment side than informative side, maybe. Yeah. That's it.
Sloth, what are you doing? Streaming?
This week I'll probably get back into Horizon Zero Dawn because I need to get back in and finish that because I've been a bit slack, and also that my net decided to be a pain in the penis this week. Can
you tell the people what happened to your internet?
All right. So 8 days ago, my net went down. It has something to do with the internal router that is here in Australia. They call it the NBN. It was an issue with that, so they came out and replaced it. Then, motherfuckers, we have a box out in the street where the net feeds into the houses, and there was a fucking rat's nest in there. And the little vermin rodent fucks ate my goddamn cables. And if it ever happens again, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to go up into my roof. I'm going to go out there, and I'm going to beat rats with a hammer.
Just rats ate Sloth's internet. It's So, anyway, I'll stop laughing at your misfortune. The internet was a worse place without you on it, man. Anyway, moving on. Bless, what have you got coming out this week?
Not a thing that I know of. I haven't worked on anything, so I know it's a holiday week here for
fair enough.
Us here in the States now, and so I just got to get back to the grind, man. I got to get back on my grind.
How do you do it? Like I'm flat out like getting out one video every 2 months. I mean, mainly because I'm completely lazy, but beyond that, like, do you ever have days where you wake up because you put so much stuff out that you kind of like you wake up and you're like, I don't even know what I'm gonna do today. Does that happen?
Every day.
So you
like it's weird. Like you talk to some people and they're like, "Oh, I'm planning for a week." I'm just over here, just like, all right. And like it just comes. It just comes. Like when I say that there's no planning, I really mean there's no planning.
That's great in a way because it's just like whatever you are putting out is where you are at that moment. And I think that's there's no forethought and foreplanning. It's just it is what it is. I like that.
It is what it is.
Yeah. What am I doing? I'm still trying to finish off the fucking edit for the video of the song thing that I'm doing, and it's killing me. I've considered just abandoning it entirely. I'm gonna resign from editing anything ever again after this because I'm just fucking over it. It's so annoying. But anyway, it'll come out one day, and then everyone will be like, "That was cool."
Nice, nailed it.
Yeah. All right. Well, what we might do, we might pay a visit to, I don't know, you reckon Sunny Sloth?
Sure.
Well, I was thinking Sunny, but a particular person went live because her boyfriend is over in the States celebrating his first Thanksgiving, and he's a Mylan's he's Mylan's friend / mortal enemy because he's the right. But Morgules and Bife are streaming over on Morgules' channel, doing some Destiny things and being over there and doing the couple thing, and it's actually pretty cool. Might go say good day to them because it's Thanksgiving and because. Wife's over there, and he's a good egg, I guess.
You should totally post
My
a link for that in the chat so that I can just host it.
Oh my god, I got it, guys. Thank you so very, very much for watching. Bless, thanks for coming on once again.
Hey, thank you guys for having me.
Anytime, we're gonna do it more often. I mean, what are you gonna do in between now and next time you come back on? Like,
make videos.
But you got married. Like we gotta up the game.
Oh, yeah.
Like you gotta. You need a loft. You can have 15 children within the next year. Right?
No. I'll just focus on work for now.
All right.
Work for now.
Okay. Keep logs shit.
Good day, right?
To myself. Right. Yep. G'day, mate. See you later. All right.
The law will find you.
The law will find you.
Oh, Blessious does it good.
Yeah.
Do it again.
The law will find you.
All right, bye. Bye.
See you guys.
Bye.